Good evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching this. Good time of the day. You're tuning in to the Mostly Mavs podcast where we bring you, well, now we don't bring you game time reporting or anything like that because the season is over. It's commenced. It is finished. And yeah, I'm your co-host, Caden De La Garza, a journalism major at the University of Oklahoma with aspirations to cover the Dallas Mavericks someday. And to my left is our co-host, Jude Halbert. Jude, how are we doing today?
Doing good, man. Finally, glad the playoffs are here. It's been a long march of really ugly basketball just around the league in general. Excited for the playoffs to get going. I'm excited this Mavs season is over. With all due respect, it's been rough. And I'm glad to not have to root for any more losing for the next 15 years if everything goes well. I don't think that's crazy to say. I mean, everything goes, according to plan. I'm just so excited for next season, man.
Dude, like, I've never gone into an offseason with so much just like excitement. Like, to go into this offseason with this excitement that we have. Like last year, it was just like, oh no, like we have to figure something out. And then we got blessed by God with the number one pick in the draft. And hopefully he gives us another blessing this year. But we'll get to that at another point. Terrible season. We'll go into, just a little recap of the season so far, but we went into this past season with expectations to probably get a playoff bid. Actually, no, with expectations to get a playoff bid, going into it with a starting lineup of Cooper Flagg at the 1, Klay Thompson at the 2, PJ Washington at the 3, Anthony Davis at the 4, Derek Lively at the 5. And we were like, oh my gosh, we're going to win a championship. We got to wait till Kyrie comes back. We got a stacked roster, insane depth. It's going to be a year to remember forever. And then Anthony Davis gets hurt. Terrible injury, just injury after injury after injury. Derek Lively gets hurt, out for the rest of the season with a foot injury. And then, Cooper Flagg starts the season off really slow. Like, he's like, oh, okay. I mean, like, he'll get into it at some point. He'll start playing better. And then December comes around and this kid just catches fire. He breaks all expectations. He becomes the real deal. And we figure out that he is the real deal. And in December, Anthony Davis has his hand injury that takes him out basically the rest of the season. There was a big debacle about that. And then Cooper Flagg goes out there and he drops 42 against the Jazz. And then he just has insane games from then on out. And then Anthony Davis is kind of just like thrown in the back seat. The general managers saw enough. They were like, let's get rid of this Anthony Davis guy. Let's go towards Cooper Flagg's future, which probably was the best decision. I mean, definitely the best decision that they could have made. And then from there on out, it was Cooper Flagg's team. He got hurt for about 3 weeks. He came back. It was a little slow, but then he picked it back up. With 1 week left in the season, he drops 50 and 45 to hopefully secure a spot as the rookie of the year. The Mavericks end the season, 26 and 56. 26 and 56. The Dallas Mavericks end the 2026 season 26 and 56. Jude, is this where you thought we would be?
Well, like you said, general manager tells us this is a championship level team. Obviously, I would say a very, very small portion of Mavs fans actually, took him at his word. It didn't happen. I will say that basically everything that could have gone wrong outside of Cooper Flagg this season went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another reason why I'm excited just to get this stench of just bad luck and bad fortune for this franchise. I'm just ready to move on. And yeah, it's obviously not what we expected, but Is it just me, or does it feel like it's been a long time since Anthony Davis on this basketball team? I feel like I haven't. I don't feel like that was like 2 seasons ago. I don't know why. Maybe this end of the season just dragged.
He only
I don't
played
know.
20, how many games for us? Like
Yeah, not
25
many.
games
Yeah, it just feels like
combined.
all that was so long ago at this point. Obviously,
Sorry for the burp there, guys.
oh, um, obviously not a lot of not a lot of winning at all down the stretch. I guess just makes it really less exciting and just really makes it drag. But we all understand what the future is, and I think this was just a reset year, and this offseason is, I mean, as big as an offseason as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, they only have this is the only pick they obtain of themselves for years. So they have to hit on this pick, and it is one of the best hopefully one of the best draft classes we've seen in a long time. Every single time I think of Anthony Davis, one thing that I think of. The one thing that I think of Anthony Davis, you probably know. The 25 minutes,
Oh,
the 25 minutes
oh man.
that Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis shared the floor together was some of the most dominating pieces of basketball I've ever seen in my entire life. I can't recall how many times I've ever seen a team look that good. Like, unbelievable. They were completely dominating, probably the third best team in the West at the time, in the Houston Rockets. And like, I was already, pre-ordering my championship hat. I'm planning a tattoo session for 2020, for whatever season, in 2025 NBA champions. I'd already done that. I was ready to win a championship that season. And then Anthony Davis, the only way I can describe these past 2 years is just a play. It's literally just been a play. It's been an opera, just ups and downs of emotions and terrible things happening and great things happening and winning the lottery and then losing your leader and just questions around this guy's health and the guys in and out. And we only have 8 players playing tonight. Oh my gosh, how is this going to work? Like, so many things had gone into these past 2 years. And I feel like the Mavericks have been the most reported franchise in the whole entire world in these past 2 years. And I'm just glad this season's over, personally. And I'm glad we have a freaking 19-year-old that's doing stuff that's never been done before, only by 1 or 2 people, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Literally, statistically, those are the only 2 people that have been doing what he's been doing. I'm just glad we have that and something to look forward to for these next few years. But gosh, it's been so rough. It's been so rough.
I don't think it can be stated enough how rough it's been, because, as I'm watching around the league and I'm looking at these other teams, there's just so many, I would say, under talked about or underappreciated players just in the league that just never get mentioned. And it's just crazy to me. And then, speaking of, for Dallas, I feel like everything that's happened here, everyone knows about. Everyone talks about us. It's just been, frankly, a mess, to be honest with you. And like I said, I'm just glad that we can finally move on. We have Cooper, and yeah, I'm just glad it's over, man. We made it. We made it, guys.
We made it. We made it past the finish line. All you insane people watching this episode know that we made it past. We watched all the games of this season, even though we didn't want to, for the most part. And we're done. It's over. I think I'm hoping, out of all the predictions that I made, the phone calls that I've had with you, Jude, saying that, oh, this team has potential, stuff like that, we finally, hopefully, have made it to the end of this. Who knows next season? What will happen? Cooper could have a huge year 2 leap. Kyrie comes back. If they trade him in the offseason, I'm jumping off a bridge. Just going to say that right now. If the Dallas Mavericks trade Kyrie Irving, my favorite player of all time, in the offseason, you will not see Caden De La Garza ever again on this planet Earth. You won't ever. It's something you're not going to see anymore. But yeah, just going to say that. I'm not making any terroristic threats or anything like that. I'm just saying you won't ever see me ever again if Kyrie Irving gets traded from the Dallas Mavericks in the 2026-2027 offseason. Enough said about that, though. The NBA draft is coming up at some point in due time. And there's some possibilities that could happen. The draft lottery hasn't happened yet. The Mavericks are now, their 7th odds in the tank down race. Tied 7th odds.
Coin toss next week.
With a coin toss. Let's hope we win it.
Hey, the coin toss last year with the Bulls got us Cooper Flag. So the coin toss matters, folks.
It does. And who knows? That win at the last, that win the other day could have gotten us a higher pick. Yeah, we've got 3 scenarios. What if the Dallas Mavericks stay at 7? What if we rise? What if we fall? But first, we're going to start off with Mr. Jude. What if the Dallas Mavericks stay at 7 in this draft? What happens?
Obviously, it depends who's in front of you. Just what those teams need. But our main need is a guard, to be honest, and there's just a lot of good guards. Now, I will say, the more and more I read into these guys, I don't want to say I'm lower on them, but what I will say is everyone kind of talks about this group like everyone's going to pan out, and I just don't think that's going to work because that's just not traditionally how, the NBA draft goes. But that being said, there is a lot of really good guards, and if we stay at 7, it is a tough pill to swallow. I will say, just from the standpoint of we went through this whole entire miserable season and we got 7th. Now, the positives always have Cooper Flag. Yeah. So it's just because we had the 7th pick. It's not the end of the world. We have our franchise player. Now we're just trying to build around him. But in this draft, I think really as long as you stay, I don't even know. I kind of really like some of these guys in the 10 to 12 range for the Mavs.
Really?
Yeah. So I personally I would get over it pretty quickly if we stay at 7. But yeah, it's just what I will say, and this goes for all the scenarios you have. Whoever the we don't have a general manager. So all that, it needs to be decided. Obviously, it will be before the draft, but that can't go unstated as well about this situation.
I will put $10,000 on Polymarket that Tim Conley is the GM for the Dallas Mavericks before draft night.
Okay, you heard it here first, folks.
I mean, I just don't see any other because what is Dumont going to throw $10 million at or however many million the highest paid contract at Sam Presti and Brad Stevens, and they're just gonna be like, all right, I'll take it. How much of a possibility is that? Or or if he goes after what is he gonna try to unretire Bob Myers? Is that gonna work? No.
That one seems kind of unlikely to me. What I will say is it is like we talked about before, throwing a lot of money at a guy and kind of giving him free reins is a really good pitch for an NBA general manager. And we don't necessarily know what the motives for these GMs is. Some of these guys, I'm not saying these guys are leaving, but Sam Presti, Brad Stevens, they've won a championship. They've built up their roster pretty much as good as you possibly can. What if these guys are just like, hey, I want a new challenge? You just never know what these guys are thinking. Again, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you just don't know. And I think Cooper Flag alone is such a huge selling point to other general managers. Because we talked about before, after Wemby, it's him. So, yeah, it's I would say Tim Connolly too, just because of what we've heard recently. But yeah, Dumont's swinging big, and that's what he should do.
Yeah. I mean, if we stay at 7, I have it written down. Just pray one of the guards falls. Like, if you're at 7, you're praying that you don't have to settle with Michael Brown. And you're like, dude, I need Wagler or Acuff. Like, you're praying that Wagler or Acuff is kind of there. Because, like, I mean, the stigma around it right now is, it's probably going to be those 2 guards after the big 4. I think, in my opinion, because, like, I mean, they're not going to crack that top 4, and then after that, and then it's you're at 7, and you're just like, well, hopefully one of these.
Yeah,
guys
well,
there.
Do you have the odds pulled up? Like, what's the? I think it's like top. I think we talked about it. We can get top
like a
4 and then like
chance or something like that. I think we have like a 4% chance or something.
Well, like top 4, it's like 30.
Top 4 is like 32.5.
And then like everything else is like you can't get 5 or 6 if you get 7th.
Yeah,
you can't get 5 or 6, but you can get 7, 8, 9.
So it's it's higher than I thought it was. So it's a 29% chance if we stay at 7, but we have the coin flip. So, or is the coin flip 4, 7, or 8? I think it's
4, 7.
It's for 7.
Yeah,
for 7. Yeah, 7 and
loser
8.
Gets 8.
29% chance so far, and then a 6.7% chance at number 1. So, like,
hey man, it's been worse.
Yeah, it's been a lot worse, but I just, dude, the thing, I'll give a little profile on each of these guys real quick. Dude, Wagler, his ability to create space is really impressive. And he is one of those guys that just manages an offense at a very good level. But the thing with Wagler, too, is he can easily slide at the 2 spot. You can easily slide him at the 2 spot, but he has such just visible point guard traits that are just like, you want to see this guy have the ball in his hands a majority of the time. And he creates space very well. Of course, he's not like a crazy athlete. That's the one knock against him right now, that he doesn't dunk, which I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, Luka.
I don't really think that's a huge thing. But dude, he can create space like
I know
nobody else, and he has
his pace of play is nice,
and he has some spots on the floor that he already has established spots on the floor he likes to get to, and he looks like somebody that can manage an offense at a high level. Dude, with Acuff, he's just like, his ability to score is just unreal, and and he's twitchy, athletic, and he's just a powerhouse. Like, he gets to the rim. He's at 6. What is he? 6'4", 2.
No, he's shorter than that.
He's shorter than that.
The thing is, I think he's Trae Young's height.
Really?
But
he's got those long arms. He's got those long arms. He's built.
Like, Trae Young is like kind of skinny. Like, this dude is like built. So he's not necessarily going to get bullied like Trae Young does on defense. But his defense is alarming, man. I can't lie to you.
But I think you can work somebody, because, dude, he's got some long arms. Like, he's got some lengthy arms, and he is built. He's athletic. He's twitchy.
He's just a natural born. You can just see it. Like, you just know he's going to be a really good NBA player. I mean, it's obvious.
I think he could grow into a decent defender, like somebody you can throw out there. But, dude, who cares about defense when you have Derek Lively, PJ Washington, Cooper Flagg just sitting behind you? That's my thought process on it. Like, who cares? Who cares about defense when you have those people protecting the rim?
Please stay healthy, Derek Lively.
And help defense. Yes, please stay healthy, Derek Lively. But when you have those high level of help defenders, I'm not worried about any. Bro, give us Bones Highland for our starting point guard next year. We're still going to be a pretty decent defense, hopefully. At least paint defense. We're going to be of the upper echelon of paint defenses in the entire league. Guarantee it, no doubt. But yeah, Acuff could score, dude. and it's contested shots, moving shots. He really like there's not too many places where he has a spot. He just gets somewhere and he scores. And I love that about him. His jumper looks smooth. He kind of his movement style reminds me a little of Ant. His jumper looks a little like Ant. His moving shot looks a little like Ant. He's just like a dog, bro. Like he's a dog.
Yeah.
And he's gritty. So praying that one of those two guards falls to the 7 spot, because I really don't see too many guys that are just like, oh, that would follow 4. I don't really see too many guys that are like, oh gosh, you got to take him there. So yeah, I mean, but if Dallas rises, you just take the best available. Like that's all you're doing. You're not reaching like
you're taking one of the big 4.
You just take one of the big 4. And if you're at 4, don't even think about it. Just take Caleb Wilson. You can get a guard in the offseason. I already have some potential guards that you can go get in the offseason, but
you can go get guard above. Like, yes, we need a guard, but we need just blue chip talent on this team as well.
Yeah. And whether it's Peterson, whether it's Boozer, whether it's like oh my gosh, forget number 1. Let's go get Devonta. But Caleb Wilson. Like, just imagine how insane that would be, first off. But I really don't think you can miss with any of those guys. And like, people are just like, oh, Caleb Wilson's really not in that echelon of players.
I watched him play. Yeah, he's like that.
He's like that. He's good. If he didn't get injured, I don't see really many arguments to take him out of that tier. But yeah, I mean, if you rise, you pick best available. I don't see another. You don't go for Wagler. Don't go for Acuff. Don't go for any other.
Exactly. You don't reach, like you said. I'll go out there and say that my favorite guard prospect is Keaton Wagler for sure. Just out of the after top 4, obviously. Yeah. But if, like you said, if we stay at 7, by that point, he probably is gone, and we probably will get a guy that drops. And you mentioned a guy, Michael Brown. Obviously, the back stuff, we had a firing today, or yesterday. I don't like to speak on people losing their jobs. It's unfortunate, but that was a big, thing or talking point with some of our players and some of the guys who got injured.
It was a huge problem. It was a huge problem.
Yeah,
that's an understatement. It goes
without. Yeah. And if we do get Michael Brown, all our, everything has to be checked. And I think, getting that, hiring someone new into that role was honestly going to be huge. Just considering we do have a lot of guys who just tend to get dinged up, and I hate to be picky, but man, I want guys to stay healthy. And I'm not blaming it on this, the director of what is it? I think health and performance.
Health performance.
Yeah. I'm not blaming it on him, but I'm just saying I see all these teams around the league, and for the most part, like, these guys are healthy the whole year that are making the playoffs. So and like we talked about, this team has not stayed healthy. So I just wanted to mention that.
I don't care how long a player is out. All I care about is you not rushing him back.
Yeah.
We rushed back Derek Lively. Look where we are now. We brought Daniel Gafford back like 10 times this season, and he's still dealing with stuff. Caleb Martin, we don't even know where he is. I don't know if he's sleeping at home. I don't know if he's out getting dinner. I don't know if he's in the training room. I have no idea where Caleb Martin. I have no idea where he is. I don't know what he's hurt with. He's had 4 different injuries. He's having 4 different injuries on the report. I don't know. Okay. There obviously had to be changes made.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody's hurt, let him sit out another week, an additional week. Like, I've never been somebody to complain about how long somebody is out for, as long as they come back and they're healthy. Was Daniel Gafford healthy when he came back the multiple times that he was injured? Did he look like himself? Never. I haven't seen the Daniel Gafford that I saw in the 2023 playoffs since the 2023 playoffs.
Even the 2024 season, the
Yes.
season after,
Like
he was really good.
I haven't seen that version of Daniel Gafford in a long time. So I mean, moves had to be made in that circumstance, and I get it. It's terrible that losing your job is not a good thing. It's not something you wish upon anybody, but it's a business and decisions have to be made. And the Dallas Mavericks are one of the most banged up teams in the entire NBA. So there had to be a change made. If Michael Brown comes in, hopefully we get him the help that he needs. It's a back thing, and I had a back injury throughout high school athletics, and it was terrible. I'm telling you, it's one of the worst things you can possibly have, especially when your disc is touching a nerve and you can't move. And every single time you move, it feels like somebody's stabbing you in your abdomen.
Worst pain you'll ever feel in your entire life.
Worst pain you'll ever feel in your entire life. And I had to feel that on a consistent basis. It sucks, okay, when you have a back injury. So let's hope that he gets the help that he needs. But if the Dallas Mavericks fall in the draft, say they fall to 9, that would be the worst thing ever. And then if we fall, again, praying Michael Brown falls to you or something like that, or Burries falls to you or something where you can get a guard. Like if you're falling, if you're falling, you can't get anybody else other than a guard. I don't care, like, really who's on the board. If you fall and you're getting a lesser guard, because this draft is really guard heavy. There's so many guards in this draft. Just swing on one of them. Because best available, like, okay, if you go for best available, you're putting yourself in a predicament again. Like, what if we get a wing?
Like, what if we draft Yaxel? Which
that's terrible because we have. Like, and it's not best available wing. It's a wing that's going to be a rotational wing. It's somebody in your rotation. Then you have to worry about, oh my gosh, now we have Cooper Flagg, this wing we just got. We just signed PJ Washington to a $20 million a year extension. And he's still got like 3 years left on it. Or I don't know if it kicked in. Yeah, I think it kicks in next season. So it's a 4-year deal. And then you have to extend. You're going to have to extend Najee Marshall because he has to be on this team personally for me. Then you're just like, okay, we have way too many wings and we're in the same problem that we were in last year. So, if you fall, you have to go get a guard. You have to get best guard available in my eyes.
Yeah. If we fall, something I've noticed over the last, I would say days, weeks, just in the media in general, I think, especially with this Khan and Cooper race, I feel like a lot of people out there are really just, I don't want to say out Mavs fans, but they really just, I don't know what it is. And I've seen a lot of people say, that they would be really upset, if the Mavs move up again, considering what happened last year. And it's just been a lot of, I know.
Are people really saying that?
Yeah. And I honestly,
if they move up in the draft.
Yeah. And even, I was listening to Hoop Collective and Windhorst and
great podcast, by the way.
Was talking. Yeah, great. He was talking about how he just wanted to rile up Mavs and just say, and he spaced time on the rookie of the year is not close, and it's Khan. And it's just like, I don't really understand it. I don't really get it. The Mavs fans, I don't know what over what has transpired. I don't know what you would rather us do than just be complaining all the time. I don't know what else. I mean, like, obviously, yes, we have Cooper Flagg, and we're not complaining about that. But I just don't get it. So that's just my little mini rant on that.
No, I completely agree with you. There are people on Instagram and other social media platforms that I'm not going to out them completely, but they are Mavericks fans, and it's nothing but complaining. Yeah. Nothing but complaining. And there's no looking forward to the next what's on the horizon. There's no looking forward to that. It's just like complaining about everything. And still looking back on the Luka trade, move on. Please. It's time. It's over. Luka Doncic is not on the Dallas Mavericks anymore. He's not going to wear this jersey probably ever again. Luka Doncic realistically is never going to be in a Dallas Mavericks jersey ever again. And people have to swallow that pill. Maybe a miraculous, maybe an amazing sports story will be built, and in his when he turns 35, he's going to sign a veteran minimum with the Dallas Mavericks for 2 years, and that'll be
have
it.
to sell the team for that to happen, unfortunately.
That's not happening.
No.
Luka is not going to be a Dallas Maverick anymore, guys. And it happened a year ago. Nico sent him and stuff like that, but it's over. And we got to look on to the offseason. We got to look on to the draft. We got to look on to the things coming up. But
this is going to be so much fun, man. I cannot wait.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be like, I'm so excited for this offseason. Speaking of this offseason, there's going to be moves to be made. And we're in a transitionary period because we went into the season last year expecting to build around a player that is 6'11" or 6'10", has a 7'2" wingspan. He's a big. He lacks, perimeter shoot. He's a defensive force. He's great around the rim, stuff like that. So we built a team kind of formulated a team system around that, basically. But that's not the team that we have anymore. So there's definitely going to be moves to be made. And there's also contracts on our team that we probably want to get rid of. So do you have any written up things that you could probably tell people to expect in this offseason? Some moves that may be made or people that we're going to go after?
I'm just going to go out and say it right now. I don't want Peyton Watson.
You don't want Peyton Watson?
I don't. I'm not a fan of that.
Why don't you want Peyton Watson?
I think he's a really good player, but I don't think he's obviously like his career arc is pretty interesting. He started off as kind of a role player, and then all of a sudden, huge jump when Denver had a bunch of injuries this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to lock myself down with that guy for the next 4 years or so, which is probably what it would be. I don't know if like I said, I don't know if I want to lock myself into a position where I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player. I just, at this point, Cooper's so young. I don't know if I necessarily want to lock myself into a long-term deal with someone like that, if that makes sense. Yeah. Unless it's like a no-brainer, because I wouldn't call him a no-brainer. Obviously, I think he would come here and he would be a good player, but realistically, what does that get you at this point? You know what I mean?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
And especially with Peyton Watson, you already have a team that's heavy on wings.
Yes.
And it really doesn't make any schematic sense to add another one of those wings, even though he is one of the bigger names right now that people are going to look out for. And he's kind of like just the shiny toy that's just been opened under the Christmas tree. And everybody's just like, oh, I kind of want a little bit of that. But for the Mavericks, that's probably not the most, desirable player that we want on a roster right now. I would expect a Daniel Gafford, Klay Thompson trade. I would keep that on your radar. I would look at that for a while, because if the Mavericks get a guard in this offseason, in the draft, you already have Christie, you already have Kai. You're probably you either are going to lean on Nembhard or you're going to give Brandon Williams a small deal. So, or maybe you let one of those guys go, but you got Bagley, maybe. And then just combining those two contracts together, that's like what, 36, 37, somewhere in that range, millions of dollars wise. You can get a pretty decent player for that, or some good picks for the future, anything like that. But a Gafford and Klay trade combination, two guys that are kind of extra on the team that you really, don't really need too much, especially if you bolster up shooting in the offseason, stuff like that. But a Marvin Bagley extension, you could look into that's probably something very likely, based on how he finished the season in general too. And then, some guys that I like to look at in free agency, Anthony Simons, maybe.
Okay. I could see that. Take a flyer on him.
Bringing back Quentin Grimes. Potentially.
Mm.
I know how you feel about Grimes, but and then
No, I know how our head coach feels about Quentin Grimes.
Little curveball.
Okay.
Who doesn't like a little Rui Hachimura? The Dallas Mavericks need shooting very bad. Okay. The Dallas Mavericks need shooting very, very bad. Okay. And although he's kind of dumb, okay, he's a little dumb basketball wise. I feel like Kid can put up with him a little bit, because dude, he is like one of the best corner shooters in the league, by the way. And he's got a really good mid-range stroke too. And he can also get you like 20 points on a random night. Rui's a really decent player in the NBA. He's got a great physical makeup too. But when it comes to like Simons or stuff like that, take a flyer on Simons. He had a pretty good time over at the Celtics in this season, and I was expecting them to go make a move for him come trade deadline. And dude, Quentin Grimes, like, I love Quentin Grimes and what he brings. I know how you feel. I know how Kid feels, but dude, I really like Quentin Grimes, and he can get a shot off. He's got a smooth stroke. He can handle the ball. He can get to the bucket. He plays a pretty decent defense. And he's a great athlete. And with the landscape of the NBA right now, especially financially, there's not a lot of room money-wise for Quentin Grimes. So he's going to be, scrounging for any contract that he can get, and he was on a restricted free agent pickup or whatever, like, contract he was on, signed to. But, expect a Daniel Gafford type trade, especially with Clay in the mix, maybe. A Marvin Bagley extension, I feel like should almost be guaranteed at this point. Like the way he finished that season, the way he played for us after his trade really surprised me. And then, like some people to look out for would be like Simons, Grimes, Rui, stuff like that. But yeah. You got any guys to look out for in free agency maybe?
Yeah, I think honestly, man, you pretty much covered it all. I'm kind of looking at the list. It's not a ton. And I think there's not a ton of free agents. And I think that's just that's because of the CBA. And that's because of teams just wanting to lock guys down. And I think most people will be disappointed if the offseason was, just bring Marvin Bagley back and just bring maybe one guy in. I don't think that's happening. I think trades will happen.
They're going to do stuff, bro.
Yeah, I think they have to. And yeah, I just shout out Clay. Just while you brought up Clay, shout out. Did
you see his exit interview where he was where he was awesome. Basically talking about
next to Pulakidis?
Dude, I forgot about Pulakidis, bro. I really like Pulakidis. Like, I think he's coming back.
You're in.
Season. That's how much I like Pulakidis. Like, I think he's coming back. I really do. Like,
I just hope that his shooting and his shooting ability, and I think it did because Kid talked about it during his exit interview. Just his shooting shows this franchise and this staff, you need shooting on your basketball team to win in 2026. You can be a way less talented team, and just based off three-point shooting variance, you can win a ton of NBA basketball games in 2026. And like I said, I think Kid brought it up. He thinks his team needs more shooting. I really hope Pulakidis' shooting showed them that, man.
And it's just shot like, me, my outlook on basketball and what I think schematically wins you games. Shot volume is everything. How many shots are you getting up? How many threes are you getting up? How many open looks are you getting up? How many good shots are you getting up?
It's a math game.
It's a game of math. Everybody in the NBA shoots 40%, basically. Like, realistically.
All these guys are such elite shooters, man.
Everybody in the NBA shoots about 40%. So, how many shots are you going to get up? How many stops are you going to get on defense that result in transition buckets? That's literally the NBA. How many offensive rebounds are you going to get so you can get another shot? That's what it is. That's what it is. And if the Mavericks can go into the offseason, they're like, all right, let's boost our shot volume up. Let's go draft Michael Brown Jr. so we can get 20 shots a game. And then let's go, bring back Polakidis. And then, hey, maybe we don't trade Klay Thompson. We get another 10 threes. And then, we got Max Christie, so maybe you can get another 10 threes. There you go. You won 55 games. You're in the playoffs. You have a chance to go to the NBA Finals. That's what it is. It's a math game. If you have enough players on your team that can shoot the basketball and get up shots, and some guys in the paint that can get you a few offensive rebounds every 20 possessions, then you're fine. You'll find a way to win basketball games. And you saw in a freaking terrible game against the Chicago Bulls, where we probably shot the most threes that we shot all season. Freaking Dwight Powell shooting corner threes. Made one. Then you win a basketball game. And even though it's a game in freaking April and nobody cares about it, you still win because you shot way more shots than the other team did. So
and you made a lot more threes.
You made a lot more threes. And that's my take on basketball in general, I mean, not really, but,
in the NBA.
In the NBA, what wins you basketball games is three-pointers made and attempted and offensive rebounds, especially in the playoffs. If go down the line of teams that have won the NBA Finals or playoff series, they always won the offensive rebound battle. That's how it is. If not, they were just shooting 50% from the field as a team. But yeah.
Feels like the Mavs haven't had a lot of really good offensive rebounding players, just really in general. I think just in my time of watching.
Why do you think the Knicks made the freaking Western Conference Finals? Yeah, because freaking Cat sucked and they had to put Mitchell Robinson in half the time, and then he got him 20.
He's a free agent.
No.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying he's a free agent. He's not going to be a Mav. I know.
You know who's a freaking amazing offensive rebounder and happens to be a free agent?
Hardenstein?
Marvin Bagley III.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. But yeah. That's about all we have today. I know it was a 42-minute episode, but hey, we're kicking off the offseason. We're going to get you some more content, some better content. I promise they're not all going to be 42 minutes, but we had a little bit of stuff we wanted to get into this day. So hopefully you stayed around to watch this pod. It's going to be a great offseason. We're going to have some buddies on, hopefully, every once in a while. We're going to talk some playoff basketball. We're going to emphasize the mostly Mavs.
Yes.
In these next coming months. And we're going to talk about some stuff that are a little outside our comfort zone. If you want us to cover maybe a particular series, or, Jude gets the East and I get the West, or Jude gets the West and I get the East, and we'll just converge every other day for a podcast. And we'll do that for y'all. But other than that, I really don't have anything. Let's just pray that the Dallas Mavericks get a top 4 pick because, that would be very beneficial. And let's pray that the Dallas Mavericks don't trade Kyrie Irving because we know what's going to happen if they don't trade Kyrie Irving, or if they do trade Kyrie Irving. Jude, do you have any closing thoughts?
Got to win that coin toss.
Who's doing the coin toss?
It's a really good question that I do not have the answer to.
We'll catch y'all later. Y'all good night.